Get down. Get down. Hey guys, I'm just waiting for John, KG Tropicals, to end his stream, and we will begin. Hey Sean, went ahead and started an early moment to give Candy a link to share. John should be finishing up in the next couple of minutes, so I'll kind of drag my feet till we know he's done that. We had about 570 people in there, so this may be my biggest stream ever if any people at all come over from there. But I'll have plenty of friends here, I'll be fine. Hey Anthony. Hey Dansley, welcome. Hey Young Fish, welcome. Appreciate you sharing your update on your tanks and your fish. I don't know if you saw, hey Teresa, I don't know if you saw my question over in KG Tropicals stream. You asked me if I had any ideas and I asked you what kind of cichlid you had added. Hey James, Fish Room Fever. Hey Matthew, welcome. Colette, hey there. Muppet, hello. Recon, Tim, hello. Holly, Deuce. Yeah, I'm in no hurry. I didn't sleep 1 minute. My eyes didn't close last night, but I thought I'm not canceling this. So this will just be down and dirty, low key. Thank you, James. Thanks, GRB. Thanks for coming. Sir Pronalot Raid, hello. Awesome. Thanks, Fishy. Thanks, Chewy. Hey, Ron. Hey, Select Pet. UPS or... Well, I'm going to wait till they finish. And I actually am not technologically... well, I could be in there on my live desktop, I mean. So you guys will have to tell me when they've stopped. Hey, Sandy. Or someone will. We'll know it, I guess. Maybe we'll get a hashtag. Yeah. Was Candy able to grab this link? I didn't get it up till the last second. Hey, Dr. Black. Hey, Kirk. Hey, Supreme African Cichlids. Oh, I'm glad to see that name. I'm glad to see you here. Sean, I saw a message pop up, I guess in Messenger, that you got your electric installed today in your fish building. So that's exciting. And I saw a picture pop up, but I didn't go over there and look yet, so I've got that to do yet. Candy, are they finished over there? Or Tim or anybody? I just don't want to officially start till they start. Just wrapping up. Good. I was just telling people I'm about to fall out of the chair here, but I was determined. Rat gave me this opportunity, and I really don't want to end it up. It's going to be quite interactive anyway, so. Hey, Blake. Hey, Pam. Melvin, great to see you here as always. Hey, Deuce. Welcome. Hey, Ty, welcome. Hey, Diego. Hey, Victor. I saw a hashtag honey. Hey, D-Max, welcome. There's another hashtag honey, so that must be the hashtag. I'm trying to figure that one out. Honey. Oh, Holly, you know, old people hardly ever sleep, I don't think. I just had some health issues, nothing real serious. I didn't sleep the night before, so I think I was just too ornery and tired to sleep. I have that restless leg syndrome thing. Boring. And my eyes wouldn't close and my legs wouldn't be still. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know her cat's name was Honey. Cool. A new job. Awesome. Hey, Big J, welcome. Wow, got some awesome channels here and some really good experienced people to have this discussion. Nothing deep, no big deal, no secret. I just wanted to wait till we get whoever's coming in here to. What have I got in that tank? The famous Aquarius. That is a community tank, and it's primarily South Americans. It's got some pretty big fish in there. It's a 6 foot by 2, so it's a 180. Of course, freshwater. Hey, Ginger, welcome. Tiffany, welcome. Wow, can't believe all you guys. I hope you're not getting here and expecting Rack to be here. I think everybody knows he's off tonight. And that tank and some of the type fish in it is part of our topics. Bob Steenfot's here, Lisa's here. Oh my gosh. Ginger Graves is here. Matthew, hello. Thank you, Candy. Hey, Maria, 68 watching. Says 74 here. So, and I'm not cutting any more deals with you guys. Those of you that were not in that live stream, I do a live stream on Wednesday afternoon, evening at 6. Anyhow, the group kind of tricked me into growing a mullet out. They said they'd give me 100 likes if I grew it out, and usually I might get 40 or 50 likes, I don't know. And so I said, oh, I'll grow it if you give me 75. Well, don't you know, they got their grandmother and everybody. Hey, Priscilla, welcome. So I'm growing a mullet, that's what all that is. I'm not getting any buffering here. And usually if I stay in this area, I'm fine I'm on my phone. Business up front, park in the back, suits your bone. So this is, well, I see why people say that goes so fast. I can't get my finger out of the way. So what would you do for a hunt? No. Nice try, select. Cribbage friends. Thanks, Diego. Thank you. All right. Most of the people in here I know, but for those that don't, a very, very quick introduction. My name's Bob, Kaler's Aquatics, and I keep freshwater and saltwater, and I keep small fish and large fish. I've only been keeping saltwater coming up on 1.5 years, so I'm still quite the novice at that. It's going to be gray ginger unless I put a little purple in it. Pam likes purple. So it's just kind of up in the air. I could renegotiate maybe color. But as I was saying, 1.5 years into salt, and I have 6 tanks that are saltwater, some inverts, some corals. I'm starting to get in corals. And also, I have 34 freshwater tanks, and those are scattered all throughout my house. And I finally had no more room in my kitchen and breakfast area, my bedroom and bathroom, and started putting these tanks in here. I've got a 125 salt on the other side. You can kind of see it through that 180. And then the 180 is the last tank. So I'm going to be moving a lot of my 40 breeders and so forth in here. And also, as far as freshwater, I've never not had at least one tank. I've never had this many tanks, but I've never had a situation that I didn't have a tank everywhere I've moved over the years. I've always had fish. Had them in New York, I've had them in Florida, and I've had them in Tennessee. I've kept fish for 58 years. I know I don't look it, but I'm 64, so I got my first 5-gallon when I was 7 for Christmas. So that's a little bit about me, and I love learning. I love being very informal. I like including people, and I like doing spontaneous live vids as well. Well, I'm going to hold that. That's 2 of those I broke recently. Don't touch the tiger barbs. Stay young, Taylor. These fish keep me that way. I also have dogs. I like the old dogs that have health issues and so forth. And I have cats. Got a blue-tongued skink that's getting big, coming up on 2 feet. And I just got 2 parakeets. I think that's my zoo. So, some of you might have seen that Chattanooga Ed spoke in the chat, and that's the bad news. I know you guys are used to seeing Chattanooga Ed on these time slot takeovers. I know, right, Candy? That was bad. I told you I haven't slept. Thank you, Ty. And thank you, Sandy. But I just couldn't afford Ed. This is a low-budget show. And now that he's such a big superstar, I just cannot afford him. So I'm glad he's here, though, and hope he'll stay with us. Hey, Kenny, welcome. Got lots and lots of great people in here and great channels. And if you don't know some of them, I encourage you. I know you hear that all the time, but to check those out. And most of you guys I know, and I'm subscribed to you, and I subscribe if it's a channel I'm interested in and if it has good content. So there's Bipolar, another good channel. No, what do you have? What do you have, Deuce? You were new to me, and that's why I made a point to meet you and to greet you. So. All right, so what I wanted to do just kind of informally, and I'm glad I have lots of experts here, and hopefully not everybody here knows everything. I don't, but yeah, I have UPS, or I have rainbows. That was one of my latest addictions. I have 3 tanks of those. Some are run-of-your-mill rainbows, and that's me, Pam. That's why I'm on some rainbows that are rare and expensive. They were expensive to acquire, so. I love my rainbows too. All right, what I wanted to do is kind of talk about, we just heard John, and I kept kind of grimacing and told Candy in the chat, she had already asked me for a link, which I didn't have to post for this. Thank you, Ed, that I didn't have a link. And she said, why not? Candy. And I said, well, they'll find me. So then John started talking about the 10 fish, and he kind of danced all around what I was going to talk about. So what I'm going to do tonight and over the next few weeks is do some focused videos. I like to pick up my camera, my phone, and say, oh gosh, these fish are, spawning, or these fish are, look at this behavior. And like yesterday after my live stream, I forgot to show that I can hand feed my 14-inch black ghost knife fish. So I put that on Instagram. But just stuff like that. What else will your axolotls eat? Bloodworms, and you can chop up like the jumbo krill. Like one krill, chop it up into 5 or 6 pieces, about half the size of a pea. They can eat some bug bites, like the medium-sized bug bats, but I soak those for a little while at that age. So there's a whole bunch of stuff, and they have great snooters, great smellers, and they'll find it. And I feed mine in a little doggy bowl on the bottom. Yeah, Pam's kept them for a long time, so she can give you a lot more advice than I can. But I just wanted to do like a little kind of thing with your input, like pros and cons, say South American cichlids versus Africans. Not versus, just a comparison. I don't mean to say versus. Thank you, Candy. So I thought I'd just break it up into 3 or 4 categories. We can add more if people would like to do that and discuss it in more depth and so forth. But a dog-sized cockatiel shrimp would feed a convention. Oh, we're still talking about that question. Toronto, thank you. You're old enough to drive? I didn't mean that way, but I just didn't think you were that age yet. Cool. Cool. I'm just learning myself. I've just got my learner's permit, so I get it. 17, well, cool, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you said you pulled over. Another great channel there, so. Jason, Redfish, Bluefish, howdy, sir. You want to pick up some knowledge, there's the place to go. All right, guys, so some of the subcategories I've got here under, I kind of call this the other cichlids or the South American cichlids, because you hear when people start talking about cichlids, they automatically go to, 9 times out of 10, they go to Africans. And I have tried Africans and I have kept Africans briefly a couple of times. Both times they killed everybody, and even when it got down to the last one, that died in a couple of weeks. I'm like, Jesus. So I have a real hard time. I think they're beautiful, gorgeous fish, but I have a real hard time with the aggression, that particular kind of aggression, and also having to constantly deal with that aggression. I don't like to move rocks around all the time and stuff, so, but they're gorgeous fish. The last ones I had were yellow crebensis. I forget which Rift Lake they're from, but I got 6 of those and had them in a 29, and they singled out one by one, no matter how many hides and rocks and caves and all that. And they were just juveniles. Hey, Calypsos, welcome. So, talking about community fish, and I'm going to be going through this tank here. This is my overall favorite tank. It's my biggest tank right now, and my most recent tank. It's a 180, and it's looking hazy because they just pulled up some plastic plants, and I was tempted, should I leave them up or should I stick them back in the sand and make it hazy? So I stuck them back. The bandit cichlid, yeah. So community fish. So my experience, and jump in please, and be a lot better if we had a panel, wouldn't it? But I don't have it set up. 20 differences in lakes. Yeah, there's a huge difference in the Africans too. So with what limited knowledge I have of Africans, I know that they can be very specific to their lake and to their area. So, and that's something that I know very little bit, and had to study up just the couple of times I got them. So, on the other hand, I know the South Americans, for the most part, it's rare that I ever hear anybody tell me their severum killed, a fish, or their, you guys can't see me, so why don't I just turn this around and do it like this. Be a lot easier for you guys to see. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? And a lot easier for me too. Yeah, and that glare, the big glare to the right back there is another tank, a saltwater tank. Yeah, it really did, didn't it? So, I see, I know Big J keeps Africans, and I know he keeps South Americans too, so I'm sure he'll have something to say. And I know Kirk is keeping some Africans, but I think he's had some problems with their particular aggression. I've been following him, and I think he's had some of, but the usual stuff that we see. So what do you guys see? how do you feel about having each of them? Priscilla's want me to get some purple in that mullet. Hey, Platty. Is this the tank you were talking about in KG, John and Lisa's stream? You said I had a nice tank. I didn't know if you meant this tank or which. Central Americans have aggression issues more so than South Americans. Yeah, I agree. Definitely, I agree. Yeah. I think if there's for me, if there's a perfect fish and that purple rain, Bob, alrighty. If there's a perfect fish for me, it's Severums, and you see that I have way too many of them. These guys, not all these fish, but those big Severums were in a 55 till about 4 or 5 months ago. And I had just bought this 180 and was waiting on the cabinet underneath it to be finished. The cats have worked their particular style on it over there, but it's a nice cabinet. Whoops. And the 55 ruptured one night, so I had to get them all moved over and all that. I only lost one, but after several months to swim bladder issues that I think were related to that incident. But also have a lot of geos, and so once I got everybody set up over here and got it cycled, I started adding more geos. Love. Can't do the floor. Well, I know several people, a lot of people that actually keep them in a mobile home or trailer, and they reinforce the floor either underneath or by spreading out some strong wood, across the floor. So I know it can be done. So, but yeah, that's what's going on with this tank. I have one blind fish in here, but I hand feed it. It's a Severum. And I guess that's all. Kim, I am so sleepy you wouldn't believe it. I haven't slept a wink for 2 nights. So, James, you don't need to reinforce your floor. I think that with everything you have on your floor and the fact that it doesn't flip up on one end, I think you're good. You guys could see all the tanks he has and a huge safe, and so I think you're good. So what would you have to do to have a successful, and Kenny can address this also. Hey, Total Tropicals. We didn't get started on time. I just kind of waited for people to come in, so. Oh, okay, yeah, that does put a fly in the ointment, doesn't it? So when I was talking about all the things you have to do to have a community African cichlid tank, was I accurate about my perception of that? Do you have to put all these breaks and hidey holes and move rocks all around and overstock? Of course, overstocking is no stranger to me, you can see that. Pondarium. How do you hit like? You close the chat and you can like it or dislike it there and then open the chat back up. That's the way it is on mine. What about, we talked about how the Central Americans are more aggressive. Yeah, Candy's working, and moonlighting here too, so. What do you guys think about the aggression of South Americans, not Central Americans. I believe they're probably on a par with Africans and can be easily or more so. They're not. I've had all of them. I got them when they were tiny, and they're not. And they're spoiled rotten. They're looking at me now, coming around and looking at me, but they'll line up. The ones that are going to the end and looking out, that goes right into my kitchen. And I come through the door there to feed them with all the stuff I've made up for them. And so they watch whether they know I'm over here or not. They watch the door for their food. Yeah, mine do too. And I've got giant Danios in here. I just have had them in recently, but that's what you see up in the top, back and forth. And I have a Jack Dempsey named Cobalt that's, she's an easy foot long now. And she got her a little boyfriend several months ago, and she has a huge spawn. And her babies are like 4 or 5 months old, and they still follow her around. They ignore their dad, and she hasn't turned on them or tried to spawn again. So I'm just leaving them for now. And she's not aggressive with them at all. Many big fish in there. Yeah, there are, but they're not little fry yet. There's a couple of Severums in there that are saucer sized. I ended up inadvertently getting a couple of short-bodied ones, which I didn't know at the time. So they're not as long as they should be. Time slot takeover. Yep. Yeah, when I was trying to decide what to do, I almost thought about, but I would have let him know and asked for his permission to do it, or not, just to kind of do a parody of Rack, but he doesn't have enough. I would be easy to do. I mean, I'm a sitting duck, but he just doesn't have enough idiosyncrasies. I could have put my glasses on my head, but then I can't see. Stuff like that. But he just didn't have enough to pull it off, I didn't feel like. So. Now watch him do one of me. That would be funny, funny. What about feeding cichlids? When I had Africans, I pretty much fed them what I feed my Central and South American. Pain. It's 180 gallons, yep. And I always over-filter. I don't have it aquascape. People are used to me saying that, so I don't say it anymore. So it's the big rocks are holding down great big pieces of wood. I keep hoping they'll sink. Ibuprofen for the can cause issues. Yeah, and I've never kept those, so yeah, that's the kind of thing I was wondering about, Chewy. Thanks. Frontosas get huge. Ginger Graves and I were at Aquatic Critters in Nashville on Sunday, and they have some in a huge display tank that are just amazing. All right, let me see. I think that may be all that I was going to touch on. I put breed question mark there, and what I was thinking about then was like the similarities and the differences in them breeding. It seems like the Central and South Americans are more uniform. Uh, like you don't have shell dwellers and that kind of thing. What was it, Maria? What kind of fish? Oh, frontosa. Yeah, I know Sean loves the shell dwellers, and a lot of other people do too. Uh, Says shell dwellers, yeah. We saw some shell dwellers in Nashville, but they were what you asked me if they were. And they didn't have shell, well, they were, I guess, rock dwellers. They didn't really have shells in the tanks with them. All right, we've got 73 people still in here and 75 likes. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm almost in a coma. The problem is when I go to bed, I won't be in that coma. I'll be wide awake. Haven't had any coffee since this morning, so just in case that's part of the problem. One more likes. Now we're back up to 76 and 77. Oh, Deuce, do I have any tanks full of little fish? I do. We can go look at some. Gio was doing like a roll on the sand there. Oh, those little Geos over on the right at the bottom there. Yeah, I've got guppies. I've got expensive pedigree guppies, and I've got just pretty mutt guppies, and I've got some Santa Maria endlers. What else do I have? Oh, rainbow fish. They're not small, but I've got some tanks of rainbows. I've got some tanks with puffers in them. I've got well, puffers for days, Ginger. And I'm trying to think of the one that you just got and the one that Ed and I got, dragon puffer. And then I've got a Fajaka puffer that's my biggest puffer. Sure, Deuce. No problem. That reminds me, Ginger, not to put you on the spot in front of 70 other people, but Dan actually has 3 puffers left, 3 total in his possession. I know you've already got one of them, Sterling the Dragon. I'm wanting a female really bad, and he thought the big ones were the females, and it's the opposite, the small, petite, shorter one. I know that's what I just said. You already bought one. But of course, he hasn't shipped them out yet. But he was going to send me some pictures of those he's got, and I asked him if he had a female, if I could have that one. And I told him I would ask you if you had any preference for a sex or anything, because I haven't actually bought mine yet. I don't want to buy one unless he has a female, you know what I mean? Ed has a female. I could always get a male and swap with Ed, but I have a feeling that'd be hard to get Ed to do at this point. His came in as a female. And you don't care if you have a male or a female? Well, that simplifies it a lot. If he has a female, that'll work. Thank you, Ginger, for doing that, because I want to breed them. And I did reach out to BTW Aquatics, Brett, out in California. He breeds the dragons and other puffers. And I know he's got like 4 pairs right now, but I asked him what would happen if I kept 2 males together, and it wasn't pretty, like a Midnight Massacre kind of thing. Sneak into Ed's. Sean, I was about to go by there the other day and embarrass him, and I should have. He didn't have the puffer then. I'll see if Dan's going to send me some pictures, and they're real easy to tell once you know. I only had to look at 2 of Brett's pairs, and which sex is less aggressive in Jack Dempsey's. I think the males are, but you often hear about males killing the females. In my case, my pair is a little unique because, me too, Kim, calming thoughts, because she's twice, maybe close to 3 times the size of her mate, and she takes no prisoners. But she does bite me if she gets aggravated with me. After 64 years, males and females, not in people, Pam. I said in dragon puffers, not in people. And she takes no prisoners. Nope, she doesn't. But she hasn't killed her mate as long as he leaves her babies alone. Yeah, Cobalt is gorgeous, even if she is mine. And she's not in this tank, of course. I wish it could work out that she could be in here. I thought about trying to keep a couple of her babies. Her babies are the size of those geos down on the bottom there on the left. They're getting big. Getting big. All right, it looks like we've got about 20. Hey, Aqua Balls, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, you told me I could only keep one kind of fish anymore ever, it would be the Severums I'd have to keep. And then the Geophagus in there with them next. I was about to say, oh, I gotta get up, guys. Ooh, hope I feel this rough when I go to bed. Here we go. That may even give us a better light. Anyway, getting that. Oh, I got parakeets. They're about 6 months old if you're talking to me. They're a little pair, a little bonded pair, male and female. And of course I named one after Lolly, the cockatoo that I was wanting to get that passed, and then after my Toby that passed a week after her. So they're Lolly and Toby. Hold on, Kurt's trout cichlid. I love the trout cichlids, yes. I don't know what the Buco Noto is. I think I know what the Rostratus. I feel like Lucas Brett's. The trick with it is to say it once and mumble it, say it fast, and don't try to say it again. Team Ginger. Yeah, I had a little dog named Toby, and he got old and he got paralyzed from his back, and I've been taking care of him like a baby for several months, and he just passed suddenly one night. So that's who the little bird's named after. I always recycle my names. Ringnecks are beautiful. I wanted to get a pair of, well, Ginger, I can hook you up on that. One of these in here is the mother. I wish you'd told me that. I'd have brought you a pair or a couple pairs. I'm going to be, let's see, I've got a order. That sounds like I sell a lot of fish. I don't, but I have a Get Gills order for 2 pairs, and they're going up to Vermont, I think, and I said I would ship Monday pending the weather. But they understand I won't ship if it's going to be below 40 at night. And then I'm giving a pair to another fishy friend. So that's 6 I'm going to be losing, but I've probably got another 30 of them, if not more. But yeah, the 2 little males in here are siblings of the ones that I'm selling. And I really just put them in here to keep their mother company because her mate, their daddy, died. There's the mother. And she pales up at night. She doesn't look like that all the time, but that's the female. They're real easy to sex. Their dorsals are so easy. You can do it in the dark. So that's the mom. Yep, I definitely the boys. There's the other one. The one on the left is actually the dominant, but don't tell the other one that. They're like brothers. They go back and forth. Like brothers. They're not in breeding dress either. The males are just a lot more colored up than the females. Well, look at this. You guys don't even have your food thawed. They're really not, Kim, because I use a pipette. Actually, I use a short one and a long one. I use my long one to feed the blind fish so I can get down to him, and then I feed him big pieces out of my hand. But no, they're not. They don't. They know they're gonna get plenty of food. These fish don't go hungry. Like Priscilla said one time, every fish at Bob's house eats. See how thick they are when they turn? Yeah. These fish don't go hungry. They eat twice a day, and they eat good foods, a variety of stuff. So, yeah. Well, they sure woke up fast when I got up, didn't they? Oh, James is coming on next. I'm not sure why I didn't think about that or realize that. Oh, he always comes on. Yeah, he does. I've got my days mixed up. Those are all plastic. Every plant in there, Ken, is plastic. And I copied Hey Rack. Yeah, we ran our discussion down, and so people always like to see pretty fish and then ask questions about them. So that's where we're at to kill a few minutes here. But yeah, Kenny, these are all plastic and or silk plants. And I copied Scott, King and Queen Cichlids, did a video that looks like it's something on the tank, but it's a reflection from the other tank there. Yeah, the platinums are doing awesome. Even that little new one, there he is over there. They even let him play with them sometimes, and they built that nest and tore it back up. So one day they'll really spawn. They're just too little. But Scott did a video about going to Hobby Lobby of all places and getting plastic plants. And like I just said, these are not aquascaped or anything. They're just not even stuck down in there, not weighted down or anything. And that's what the ends of those 2 look like. Just got to be careful not to have any exposed wires and stuff. I don't, Alex. I don't have any turtles. Pam's got the turtles. I enjoy the turtles vicariously through her, but she doesn't show them much. She needs to do her video on them. But yeah, all of these plants, and when they're positioned, Like that one there is very realistic. Got some vines. Yeah, I think everybody I know has that bamboo that keeps cichlids, has some of that. Pammy, where's the turtles? We should get you. There's the blind guy. He can see a little bit. I think he's like Mr. Magoo. He can see like that, but he's got super good hearing, of course. If I put my food on the top and open the lid, he comes right to me. So see, he sees my silhouette or shadow, or maybe he can see me a little bit. Hey, Dan. Dan's fish. Just talking about you inadvertently a little bit ago. Ginger's in here, and I was asking her about the puffers, and she said that it didn't matter to her if she got a male or a female. As I told her I was trying to get a female, and we're going to try to sort it out. So I really appreciate that. If you just have a female now. So we'll see. I really want to try to raise those guys because that one's came around. He's actually taken krill out of my hand. So, and I drop it. Don't care the sex of her dragon. Uh-oh, chunky salsa. Got put in the corner. I have to go back and see what that was about. The catfish are waiting for supper. They're like, bring it on. I gotta get me another light on here. I had two of the same size, and this is a 6-foot tank. They don't bother the pothos. It probably tastes awful. Hey, Dylan. But yeah, they're all plastic. Yeah, I never get caught up. I'm always doing something or doing, another thing, and it's hard to, I'll give you a 1 minute update on them. I had to do an extra water change on them last night. Still fighting the algae in that tank. It's starting to color up some. This tank. I think that's the one you meant. And my other two tanks are doing well. Tibby, thank you. But yeah, I'm starting to win the algae battle. I'm still not satisfied that I have enough flow in this tank. So, the guy that I get my foods and stuff from. Oh, I know, right, Sean? Oh, there's Pam's art. I set it up there a while ago to take a picture and send my sister. I need to get it down from there. Axolotl tank, and you said how it looks bad. I think it'll come off because that tank was it's salt, I think. I haven't tried to use them, but I got some razor blades, the sharp, that you scrape the sides with. You think that tank looks bad? Look at the algae on this. The tank is clean, it's just algae. Just algae. Dylan, I have 34 fresh and set up and running. I have 34 fresh and 6 salt. It's really not. If you've kept freshwater fish, you can keep saltwater fish, no problem. And in fact, to me, it's a lot easier. The pH is going to be the same for everybody. The pH is the same everywhere. it's going to be 8, 8.3. So as long as you hover 7.8, 8, 8.2, something like that, you're fine. I used to try to chase that and keep it at 8.3, and I realized, well, they're fine when I find it at 7.8, so it's fine. But yeah, pretty much the oceans are the same pH. Just measuring the salt and getting the salinity, but that's no big deal. That's just the extra step. I have the same kind of filters right there that I have right there. Same filters. I don't even have sponge filters or anything in here. I've got 3 hang-on backs and sponge intakes. You can't see them because it's back there. And that's it. I'm looking for my crab. If he's back here, we can't see him anyway. Got a hermit crab that's a big hobo. He does clean a lot. I did a water change on this tank Monday night, and I still haven't wiped the salt off. That's the one thing about salt for sure, is that you can clean your sides inside and out and sit down and there's water already. I don't see my hermit crab. Oh well, he's in there. Hey JC Aquatics, welcome. So yeah, a lot of people will say it's hard and you have to have all this and all that, and a lot of people, like Priscilla was saying the other day in a live stream. It wasn't mine; it was somebody else's. But she made the good point that a lot of people go really to the extreme to make sure their water stays perfect, and but the more money they're spending, the more they want to insure their fish. So I understand that. What's my favorite saltwater fish in this tank? Well, actually, I lost him last night. It was Linus, the lined puffer, and that really broke my heart. I don't know what. He didn't come out to eat last night. And sometimes he sleeps through feeding. They burrow under and they get under things. And this morning I found him over there in the corner down in the back, perfectly intact. So I don't know. I know. So I guess if I had to have a favorite one in here, it would be Diva or Char. She wanted that fish named after her right there. So besides him and the little green spotteds, those are the only puffers in this tank now. I know. He was so sick when I got him, and I kept him in quarantine and treated him for ick and all kinds of things. He was always just kind of weakly. The dogs have heard me talking now. Still haven't found my crab. A man and his crab. He's usually not this hard to find. He has an extra shell or two in here because he can never decide. No, I don't, Crystals. I know you love those chocolate chip ones. They will eat your corals. Some of them will, and I think the chocolate chips. Where's that crab? He's able to get down in these rocks and get under things, and he can dig around, so he's probably... I don't even worry about the algae on the back, guys. I'll let it grow. See that fish eating it off there? Yep, got several that like to eat algae, so... That's what the little holes in it are, where they've been biting it. But I do try to keep it off the front and the sides. Well, crap. I'm not going to be happy if my crab's gone missing. Oh well. When I feed him, he'll shut. There he is. There he is. He's gone back in the tunnel. See that shell back in there on the 5 minutes. Thank you, Candy. See, he's down behind that black damsel. Yeah, well, I'm about the only one that ever sees them unless, there you are, little varmint. I guess you're my favorite now. Those are the fugus, they're the ones that are so poisonous to eat, and they're so poisonous, the Japanese emperor, the government never allowed him to eat them because people do die from them, a few people every year. And that squirrelfish wants to be somebody's pet. He eats anything that can go in his mouth. All right. Well, we did get to talk about fish, and we did get to talk Africans. So, yeah, the thing about the silk is you have to take them out and brush them, and I spray mine uh, blowtoads. Yeah, yeah, a lot of puffers are, and I try to mention that. I would really love that. I'm gonna have to do a feeding on that. Uh, yeah, and they have huge mouths. I can't tell you how many little damsels and promise that one's eaten. I think I get them big enough. In fact, I don't see any of my chromas. Yeah, there they are. There they are. They're hiding under there. Uh, that queen angel. That is probably the most vicious fish in there.